Everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the Outlier Podcast. I've got Josh with me, good friend. I just met him. I just met him last week, and we just uncannily became friends. So, Josh, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
How am I doing? That's debatable. That with the snow, with everything going on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, living up to it. Can't complain, but not the best. Not the best for sure.
Yep. Yeah, no, in a huge blizzard is not always the best place to be. There's not a lot you can do
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely. You know it. I mean, Josh is based in Colorado, so he just gets it, right? I mean, he's someone whom I don't have to explain it to. He just gets it. As simple as that.
Yep.
So thank you for empathizing what we are going through right now, but can't complain. All good, Josh. Again, firstly, thank you for coming, for taking your time and doing this podcast with us today. We really appreciate. Quick introduction who Josh is. Josh is VP Marketing at Blue Federal Credit Union based in Colorado. Close to 20 plus years of experience in financial services, started with large banks, moved into credit unions. He has spent almost 17 years, close to 2 decades in credit unions, doing different roles now, leading marketing for Blue. So, Josh, it's an incredible journey across the last 20 plus years. We are really proud of what you're doing right now, sir.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a great journey. Probably like a lot of folks that end up in this space wasn't always the long-term goal, when you're in fourth grade and Miss, Trujillo says, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Most people don't raise their hand and say, "I want to work at a credit union," but it's kind of worked out. I started when I was 18. I worked at a large bank that I think everyone knows. It was World Savings back then, but now it's Wells Fargo. So started out there as a teller, as a freshman in college, kind of working at the same time, and then just transitioned, worked for a few banks, all large, huge banks, and eventually kind of landed at a credit union. And it just felt like home for me. Just the focus on people first and really doing what's right by the member just really resonated with me. So I've worked at three different credit unions. Canvas Credit Union, which is based in Denver, and then Credit Union of Colorado, which is also based in Denver. And then 2 years ago, made my way to Blue Federal Credit Union, and that's where I'm at now. So most of my experience has been on the retail side, so
Yeah.
directly working with members and overseeing retail locations across Colorado. And so have really enjoyed that firsthand experience, but the journey I'm on now and being able to communicate the value of what we can bring to our members at a more global
Mhm.
level and a larger scale. And I have a great team, so it's been a fun journey since I made the transition over to Blue.
I'm sure. So extremely illustrious, good career across banks and multiple credit unions. So that's the most important thing. So Josh, let's start with the first question, right? In terms of what is the biggest growth priority right now for Blue?
Yeah, so for us, so I stepped into this role last year in 2025. So when I first came to Blue, I was leading product strategy, which is still part of my current role, and so there's a lot that goes into that. But for us right now, the biggest thing I think we're focused on is is really the personalization of the member experience and making sure that the products that we have and the solutions that we have to member problems are the right solution for the right person at the right time, and communicating that message in a way that resonates with the members. And so it probably sounds cliche, but it's something that we're really obsessed with the member success, and really focused on making sure that we're there for our members when they need us, and when they need something, that they think of us first. And so we've done a lot of work in around some data and things like that, which I know we might talk about, but yeah, really focused to the member experience and making sure that our products are truly meeting the member needs.
Yeah, I think that's the most important reason, right? I mean, that's the reason all of us are in a credit union or helping a credit union grow on the other side, that we really care
Yep.
deeply, honestly about our members, and it's just not reporting the numbers to Wall Street. So this is not shareholder value, but this is member value. So that dovetails so well into basically both of our values and principles. Makes sense. Now, obviously, the environment is has improved from last year, getting deposits. So I was reading this report by Cornerstone Advisors, going on in banking. The first highest priority, 69% credit unions are talking about membership growth. couple of them talking about frauds, and I think deposit growth was the third or fourth priority. I think more than 40% credit unions are again still looking for deposit growth. That run is still there. So, what is harder to grow? Is it like on the deposit side or on the lending side? Which book of the business is more difficult to grow nowadays?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and they're kind of it's like a teeter totter, right? You have to really balance them. And for us, we tend to be a shop that operates between 97 and 102% loan to share ratio, and so for us, it's a constant kind of pulling of the levers. I think loans, there's a lot of things you can do in terms of, participations and things where you can kind of bail yourself out if you need to. We're pretty aggressive and we do a fair amount of indirect lending, which I'm sure a lot of credit unions do as well. That's a pretty significant portion. So I would say the deposits are probably trickier in terms of growing in that space, and specifically relationship deposits. So checking accounts and really those transactional accounts. Occasionally we'll do we call them term shares or a certificate of deposit
Yeah.
promotion with a flashy rate, and you can grow deposits that way. But we're really looking to really grow those relationship accounts, and so product differentiation is one way that we try to do that. We do offer a subscription-based checking account of sorts. We call it Nova Perks, and so it adds some added value besides just your standard, free checking account that comes with a debit card. And so really, I would say we're focused on relationship deposits more than just kind of those quick wins or just flooding deposits with, attractive rates.
Let's talk about differentiators. All credit unions, I mean, I even with this question of differentiator, there's one thing that I would love to talk about is a quote that a lot of successful credit union execs tell me. You cannot be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
You just cannot be, because that's not the way how our value proposition lies ahead. We cannot be a Chime, we cannot be a Chase, we cannot be a New Bank or Revolut on one side, and you cannot be a Navy Federal on the other side, because we are two extremes, right? So, how does Blue Federal uh, actually differentiates itself? I mean, it's a pretty crowded market. It's not like it's not crowded. Pretty crowded market, unique market. Since you are leading the charter at Blue, what do you think? I mean, what's a differentiator? Is it the messaging, the products, the way how you reach out to your audience? What is the differentiator?
Yeah, I think there's a few aspects to that. So with product, and in my role, I'm over product innovation as well, and so product strategy. For me, I've always felt like with banking products, we're in a heavily commoditized industry. And so
Sure.
you can only differentiate, and I call it differentiation on the fringes, right? So you can only change so much. And it's really how you position a product. And for us, we're at this point now where in the past we have tried to be all things to all people. And I think we're really trying to hone in on what's our bread and butter. What are the things that we want to be great at? We could be good at a lot of things, but what are the things we really want to be great at? How we can serve our membership, and what does our market really need from us? And so that I think when it comes to products, it's pricing, it's features, but it's a lot of it is how you position the product. And the experience is important too. I think that often gets overlooked is how difficult is it for a member to do business with you. And then as
Sure.
far as messaging goes, because we
Mhm.
oversee brand as well, and so I think for us, all credit
Mhm.
unions say that we got nice people, good handshakes, nice price products, and we
Sure.
care about the community, right? Those are kind of the boilerplate things that every credit union says. And so I think for us, it's thinking about what's that fourth why? What's the fourth why someone would do business with us, and really figuring that out. And we are really engaged in our community. A lot of our members at this point come through our foundation, the Blue Foundation, which is a phenomenal organization that does a lot to give back to the community. And I think really telling that story. We did a brand campaign last year called My Blue Moment. You can find it out on our YouTube page. But really, it really was similar to like the Chick-fil-A campaign where there's folks sitting on the couch and they talk about their experience with Blue. And these were real
Yeah.
life members. And I think
Actual members.
telling that
Yep.
story is really important. And I've found in my time, in 17 years, it's really hard for credit unions to tell that story. And my theory behind that is the folks that work in this space are really humble.
Sure.
And to
Sure.
say we're great and we make a difference, I think is hard for people. And so it's one of those things where I try to encourage the folks at Blue that it's not a pat on your own back. It's really showing what we can do to help other people. So I think telling that story, about how we are different and how we do care about member success, I think is really important for us.
Yeah. So that's the example that it took about the campaign. That's interesting one. Would love to learn more about that. It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, as using data is becoming table stakes. It's no longer a luxury, but it's a necessity, right? You
Yeah.
need to use data for be it targeting, be it retention, to cross sell. I hate to use the word cross sell, but still cross sell to existing products, because at the end of the day, you have to run a healthy shop. You're not doing charity for the lack of better words, right? You're still uh, helping the community, right? Improve financially. That needs for you to run a profitable shop. So that's the reason I talked about cross sell. How are you using data right now, Josh? Lack of better words, personalizing a member experience. I talk about an example a lot of times that when I was traveling back to India last year, my card provider automatically found that I did a transaction with their card at Expedia, and they turned on the travel notice by themselves. That's the kind of experience that I want, right? If I'm a customer or a member, right? So, what are you using data for experience?
Yeah, so it's a great question and something that everyone in this space should be focused to, and particularly with artificial intelligence and how that's just going to accelerate how we can really utilize that data. So for us, we do a few things in the marketing space. So we have a couple segmentation platforms that we use, and they kind of serve different purposes. We have one that's really focused on member transaction behavior, and so it can actually form segmentations or indicator groups. Let's say, for instance, you've gone to Lowe's or Home Depot 6 times in the last quarter. That might be an indication that you're looking to improve your home, or maybe you are making home improvements.
Sure.
And we can utilize that data to market a home equity line of credit, for instance, would be an example there. Or maybe you've gone to an auto parts store and have used your car. Maybe it's time for a new car,
Sure.
so we can utilize that. So we have one platform that we use for that. And then we have another platform which is really just segmentation. And so we have 7 persona types that come through. Every member on our system has a segmentation code attached to them. And so those members tend to have certain products that they have a higher propensity to buy. And they also gives us some insight into the best ways to reach those members, whether that's through TV, radio, OTT, whatever it might be, right? Print even, because we know print's
Sure.
still very expensive. And so we try to use that sparingly. And so we utilize this to not only figure out kind of the who, but the
Mhm.
what, and then
Mhm.
the how or the where, right? Where do we reach these folks? How do we reach these folks? And what products make the most sense to them versus, historically has really been more of a pray, spray and pray kind
Spray
of
and
method,
pray.
right? Where
Yeah.
you just throw everything out there and you hope it sticks. We're really trying to get away from that because, the
Sure.
public is drowning that out. And every place you go at this point is personalized, right? You pull up your Netflix,
Sure.
it's based off your watch history. You pull up
Sure.
Amazon, it's based off your purchase history. Your banking really should
Sure.
be no different. And so those
Sure.
are a couple ways that we're utilizing data to really personalize the member experience at Blue.
Sure. Gone are the days of throwing a spaghetti in the wall and waiting for it to stick. And everyone, in that context, the wall is changing. It's a well-oiled wall. It just won't stick right
Yeah.
away. So
Yep.
that's the
Yep.
analogy. In terms of AI, right? Obviously, AI and data are anonymous because I'm a data scientist, so I've been talking about data since the last 10 years, right? Now suddenly people are talking about AI. Obviously, that's the future. And I strongly feel because of me being a practitioner. But still, how are you using AI in marketing today? Are you using for better prospecting, for better member experience, or cross sell? So how are you using AI?
Yeah, so a few different ways. So some of the personalization stuff we utilize to kind of aggregate and kind of figure out which products we're going to present. We use it for a lot of the same reasons other places are probably using it. It doesn't really create our copy or our creative, but sometimes it validates if it's on brand. So we've actually
Sure.
worked with a partner on kind of building a QA model that's going to help us really kind of give us a score. So we'll pump any creative into the platform, and it'll kind of give us a score and say, hey, yeah, this is on brand or this is off brand. So that's one way we're utilizing it. But our website is another way that we're continuing. We're going through a website rebuild right now, and so just
Sure.
excited to continue to leverage AI and how we go through that. And so I would say we use it in a lot of different ways, but it's ever evolving and never staying still in terms of how we use it. The way we used it 12 months ago is very different than how we're using it today.
Sure, sure. A couple of last questions. One is, how does a high value member look like to you? For banks, the definition is different. They just look at the profitability. They might look at EBIT at a member level. But what is that for you?
Great question, because it's really subjective, right? High value member is or customer if it were somewhere else. I think for us, we are still a business. We are not a charity. You said that earlier, and that really resonates. And I think most credit union folks realize that. I always make sure people say not for profit cooperative, right? Financial cooperative. And so for us, the dollars and cents do matter, right? It does matter that, that we're making wise financial decisions. And it's not for the sake of making money. It's for the sake of the continuation of the mission and doing what we want to do to serve members. And the best way we can do that is to be financially viable and healthy going forward. And so the profitability component is important. But I think for me, the way I would simply put this is we want to own the piece of real estate in a member's mind that when they have a financial need, that we're the first house on the block, right? We're the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
place that they go to or think of. And if we don't have it or we can't offer it, then we'll be honest and we'll say, hey, this really isn't our thing, and we'll try to direct folks in the right way.
sure.
But that's how I would define it. Is I think this whole idea of PFI is a little dated, frankly. I think we used to say, oh, we have the members' checking account and direct deposit, so they think of us first, and that's not always true. We know members will look out and they'll try to find the best deal. All I ask is that those members think about us when they go through that process.
Absolutely. I think last year I read an average American has 21 financial relationships. There's no PFI. There's just, can you just have your card in the top three? That's
Yep.
all, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. One last question. I know it's difficult, but still, I love this question. Looking ahead, in the next few years, what does success look like for you? Because you've taken up a new role, Josh, right? Taken
Yeah.
up a new role, a broad responsibility of leading marketing. Not the most easiest thing, brother, but that's the way how
Yeah.
life is.
Yeah.
So, what does success look like?
Yeah, so I think success for me is continuing to learn in this space. I kind of consider myself a lifelong learner, and so it's been really exciting moving into this role. And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by very talented and bright people on my team, and so they've been very supportive. I think continuing to network and roll in this space. I really love the collaboration in the credit union space of us really not looking at each other as competitors per se, at
Yeah,
least not in market, and then really focusing on how we can help one another. So I think continuing to grow and learn, and then I think really making product strategy and product innovation a key competency of the organization. There's energy behind it, there's support for it, but really making sure that it's a team effort, and our staff and all the employees, there's about 380 of us at the organization. There's a lot of great ideas and everyone has a lot to contribute. And so I think making sure that we think about innovative ways that we can help members or maybe streamlining the member experience, to really optimize that and really making sure that everyone's bought in. And I like to say that the products are just a means to the dreams, right? The folks have
sure,
financial dreams and they want to buy a house or send their kids to college. Our products are really just a means to do that. No one wants a
sure.
car loan or a mortgage. They want a house or a way to get to work. So I think the way that we can find ways to help members and really have that be a team effort, I would take a lot of pride in that.
Absolutely. So, Josh, again, thank you for your time today. I know we are
Yeah.
on top of the hour, but really appreciate the time you spent with us. Looking forward to sharing more of your wisdom and journey with my listeners. So, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.